Suggestion and analysis for all 18 Round 3 Champions League games. Both of these teams are dangerous offensively and Milan has got some injury problems in the defense. I expect a fast-paced game here, and at 1.85 I think it's worth to take the risk for both teams to score. Monaco 8 out of 10 games this season have seen less than 4 goals, and Crvena Zvezda 3 out of 4 European competition games have seen less than 4 goals, so I'm going for under 3.5 goals. Real Madrid this season 10 out of 13 games have seen less than 4 goals, and Dortmund is a team that likes to play very defensive-minded counter-attacking football against top-level teams, and that shows us their last 14 out of 19 games against top-level teams have seen less than 4 goals. A huge blow to Dortmund's counterattacks is going to be the absence of Adeyemi, and as everybody already knows, these two met in the Champions League final last season and the game saw only 2 goals, so I'm going for under 3.5 goals. PSG has struggled offensively in the first 2 Champions League games as they have only scored 1 goal, and both of those games saw less than 3 goals. The way these two match up, I cannot see both teams getting good opportunities to score, so I'm going for under 3.5 goals. I have prepared suggestions and analysis for every single Europa League and Conference League game, and you can access it for a tiny fee on my website. But for this game, Arsenal is going to be without Odegaard and most likely without Saka as well, and those two are their best offensive creators. Arsenal 9 out of 11 games this season have seen less than 5 goals, and Shakhtar is yet to score a goal in the Champions League, so I'm going for under 4.5 goals. Both games for both teams have seen both teams score, and Stuttgart this season 9 out of 10 games have seen both teams score if we don't count the DFB Pokal game. Also, Juventus is going to be without their best defender Bremer and without their number 1 goalkeeper, so I'm going for both teams to score. Sturm Graz both games have seen less than 4 goals, and Sporting both games have seen less than 3 goals. These two met in the Europa League last season and both games saw less than 4 goals, so I'm going for under 3.5 goals. Both teams lost their first 2 games, and Girona has been struggling offensively this season as they average only 1 goal scored per game. Also, Girona, almost half of their starting lineup is out with injuries, and Girona 9 out of 12 games this season have seen less than 4 goals. I don't expect an easy win for Girona here, and I don't expect Slovan to have many opportunities offensively, so I think it's worth to take the risk for under 3.5 goals. By the way, the ones that I place on myself are all going on my Telegram, so join if you haven't. But Bologna has only lost 2 out of 10 games this season by 2 or more goals, and Aston Villa has only won 3 out of 11 games by 2 or more goals this season. Aston Villa last 12 out of 17 home games against similar strength teams to Bologna, they have not won by 2 or more goals, and I don't expect an easy win here for Aston Villa, so I'm going for plus 1.5 handicap for Bologna. Both of these teams are very strong offensively, and I don't think there's any doubt that Atalanta scores here at home against a team who conceded 7 goals in their previous game against Dortmund. Celtic, on the other hand, has scored in every single game this season, and they have scored at least 2 goals in 11 out of 12 games this season. Also, Atalanta has some injury troubles in the defense, so I'm going for both teams to score. Leverkusen 8 out of 11 games this season have seen at least 3 goals, and Brest has only played 1 top team this season. It was PSG, and the game saw a total of 4 goals, so I'm going for over 2.5 goals. Between this season and last season, the only team that's comparable to Man City that Sparta has met was Liverpool last season, and they lost 5-1 and 6-1 in those 2 meetings. I expect an easy win here for Man City, so I'm going for Man City, the only team to score in both halves. Inter beat Crvena Zvezda 4-0 in their previous Champions League game, and it's a very comparable team to Young Boys. Young Boys lost 5-0 to Barcelona and 3-0 to Aston Villa, and Young Boys got some important defenders injured for this game. I cannot see Inter not winning this game, so I'm going for Inter to win. My advice would be for you to listen to what I say, pick your favorites and place them as singles. But for this game, Barca is still struggling with injuries in the defense, and both of these teams' games have been seeing a lot of goals, as Barca 10 out of 11 games have seen at least 3 goals, and Bayern 6 out of 9 games have seen at least 3 goals this season. I cannot see Barca keeping a clean sheet here, but I do think they can score at home, so I'm going for both teams to score plus over 2.5 goals. Leipzig last 17 out of 20 home games have seen at least 9 corners, and I expect a fast-paced and up-and-down type of game here, so I'm going for over 8.5 corners. Atletico lost to Benfica 4-0 in their last Champions League game, and Lille beat Real Madrid in their last Champions League game. Atletico has only won 1 of their last 5 games, and Lille has not lost in their last 5 games. In my opinion, Atletico is overrated here in terms of odds, so I'm going for plus 1.5 handicap for Lille. This is a meeting between two very evenly matched teams, and yes, Feyenoord does have some injury troubles, but in my opinion, similarly to the Atletico game, Benfica is getting overrated here in terms of odds. Also, Benfica last 5 out of 7 home games against similar strength teams, they have not won by 2 or more goals, and Feyenoord last 6 out of 6 away games, they have not lost by 2 or more goals against similar strength teams, so I'm going for plus 1.5 handicap for Feyenoord. Both of these teams have been terrible defensively so far to start the season, as Salzburg has conceded 7 goals in their first 2 games and Zagreb has conceded 11 goals in their first 2 games. Salzburg in the Austrian league has conceded 12 goals in 8 games and Zagreb has conceded 11 goals in 10 games, where they play against much weaker teams. The weaknesses defensively for both of these teams could cause a lot of goals scored in this game, so I'm going for over 2.5 goals. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and good luck.